In my previous LinkedIn post, I was talking about this particular problem where GPT hallucinates, and you need to be able to adjust your prompt so that you can ground LLM into reality. I would like to demonstrate that with an example, and you can see a short example here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed in GPT with this particular code I have, and this is just code from my existing module uh, which I'm working on to generate the documentation. So this file basically just reads all the files from the given module, and the prompt that I'm going to give to GPT is this: document what a Magento module does. You will be given code from one file at a time, and then I have listed how to read a particular module and how to draw conclusions for each file. Now take a look at what happens when I feed in this particular prompt only with this file's content. Now the expected output here is GPT should give me only documentation for this single file, but let's see what happens. So let me run this on my command line, and this is the prompt, and now you will see what GPT outputs. And that's going to be very interesting because it look at this. I did not give it the file registration.php, but well, it guessed that. Then I did not feed it the code in my etc directory, setup directory, but it has made vague statements about these directories. Now this is happening because GPT has been previously trained on the whole internet, which also means it was trained on Magento DevDocs. And you can see that this almost contains no concrete information about the file that I just fed it, right? This is known as hallucination because GPT is not really looking at that file. It mainly is focusing and retrieving data from its own training and memory. Now what we want to do is we want to ground GPT in reality, which means my existing code base. um, and this is happening although I have specified that you will be given code from one file at a time. Now this is not working, so I need to tell GPT. Now this is very easy to fix problem with a prompt, at least in this case. I just need to tell GPT in a very bold statement something like this. The fixed prompt would be adding this statement: only make conclusions about the code you have been provided plus notes you have taken till now, right? So now I'll just copy paste this in my code. Okay, and now let's rerun the same program again and see how GPT's output varies with single change in your prompt. Let's do this. Now the prompt contains that bold statement, and let's see how GPT responds differently. Okay, now you can see that it's talking about the module reader class is responsible for reading files for a given module. Class constructor injects dependencies, and the method uses module directory, and everything is just about this particular file that I gave it, right? And that's how it varies. Um, Now, what the way this whole module works is this same summary. Now, GPT will remember this in its memory that okay, these are the files I've seen and these are the notes I've taken, and with each file it will keep refining these notes, and finally when it has read all the files you will have documentation for a module. Of course it's not going to be this crude, but I'm working on this. But yeah, that's about hallucination. So uh, to summarize, you can see that this single line: only make conclusions about the code you have been provided plus notes you have taken till now, is the key statement to ground GPT in reality. And you can see that what will happen is these notes, the output of GPT here, This will be fed into nodes here for the next file, and that's how this is also known as prompt chaining, where the prompt is continuously modified with the last output that GPT gave you, right? And this is essentially how we also work. It's not very different from uh, how we tend to process large amount of documents. We take notes and we keep refining our notes. But yeah, that's about it.